This portion of the news brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
Straw vendors have been on the front line of the #1 industry for decades, and today Bahamians paused to say a big thank you.
And as Cyan Thompson tells us, hundreds gathered at Prince George Wharf to applaud the group during a lavish ceremony.
It was a celebration of more than 50 straw vendors who served for many years in one of the country's oldest industries. Addressing the honorees, Prime Minister the Right Honorable Perry Christie said their labor has contributed significantly to the development of the Bahamas.
The example that you have set for this country is a noble example and one that should be emulated by the young professional Bahamians out there who should look at you and see the way in which you have been able to take the adversity that has been placed upon you, straw market burning down. Y'all ain't give up, you ain't give in, you just get back up and start all over again.
The straw industry began in the 1700s. This group of fiercely independent men and women, through their work, molded some of the finest in the country, including nurses, doctors, lawyers, parliamentarians, governors, businessmen, and women.
Who have demonstrated to the country an incredible grasp of where the country is, where it should be going, and they have done well for the country, and they have done it because there are people who were their mothers, who came out here, who worked hard. Listen, and all the way through, whatever your politics were, you were setting an example.
Senior government officials were among those applauding the vendors.
And then, of course, when you think of these phenomenal Bahamian women, you must remember that we have the straw vendors who have now become business persons.
50 years of women's suffrage movement, and the movers and shakers of that movement are here today. We also see the inheritors of that movement, who are their daughters like Melanie Griffin.
I look forward with great anticipation for proposals and development of potential straw market sites on other islands such as Andros, Abaco, Bimini, Exuma, Eleuthera, Long Island, Cat Island, and San Salvador.
Other activities for the 40th anniversary coming up this week are the Battle of the Bands and Youth in Parliament. For the ZNS Network News, I'm Cyan Thompson.
The Bahamas and the United States Transportation Security Administration expected to sign a memorandum of cooperative agreement for baggage and pre-clearance screenings tomorrow.
Yes, and as a part of their two-day visit to the country, representatives from TSA met with the aviation minister and other senior government officials today. The purpose of the agreement is to strengthen aviation security.
I view this as an opportunity for us to partner much more closely and to be able to capitalize on the benefits of preclearance and the capabilities that it gives the traveler between our two countries. So I look forward to our work in the future. Mr. Larry Mizell, who is our Transportation Security Administration attaché here, is very eager to work closely with your personnel in bringing all of this to fruition. And thank you and your agency for all of the efforts that you've made over the years.
It formalizes a very long-standing relationship between the United States and the Bahamas in terms of a facility which has had such a tremendous impact on our own economy, our tourism industry, and I believe has been beneficial to those who travel from the United States to the Bahamas through the pre-clearance, which is a way of facilitating passengers on the Bahamas end. And this also signifies a very long-standing collaboration and between the two states on this issue of standards of security and pre-clearance.
The Royal Bahamas Police Force, for the first time, boosting its fire engine fleet today after National Security Minister Dr. Bernard Nottage commissioned 5 new engines at a cost of just over $1.2 million. 3 of those engines remained in New Providence, while 2 others were sent to Grand Bahama. In total, there are now 8 fire engines in New Providence and 3 in Grand Bahama. Dr. Nottage says these new engines will increase the capacity to respond much more quickly and effectively to fires. The minister examined the engines and spoke with firemen before taking the Maverick out for a spin and demonstrating the operations of the bumper nozzle.
We're going to be able to do now is to distribute engines in each of the major communities, one in Cable Beach, one in Carmichael, one South Beach, one Elizabeth Estates, and Wales, and one at headquarters. And that way we'll be able to reach most locations in New Providence in a relatively short period of time. The engine in the middle here can hold 2,000 gallons of water, so that will add a new dimension to our ability to fight fires.
It provides us with an opportunity to respond in a timely fashion. In every fire incident, time matters. Every second counts. And so it's because of that, and for that reason, we always encourage members of the public, when there is an emergency, to contact the emergency number 919 or call the fire department right away, so that we can be in position to not only just save property, but more importantly, save lives.
The truck in the center, the Maverick, that is also capable of being operated from within the cab. You can spray water through the bumper nozzle rather than having to necessarily pull out the hoses and run lines that way. They're all on the same type of chassis here. They're equipped with a good Mercedes engine. With Mercedes engines, we have the ability to have parts more readily available than we were on some of the older units.
Well, a number of young people will benefit from the generosity of BTC. Today, company officials donated $20,000 worth of musical instruments to the Urban Renewal Marching Band. Senior Manager of Public Relations Jerome Sawyer says it's all about giving back to the community, and BTC is always willing to assist the country's youth.
We are proud to boast a band of 600 young people with 400 instruments. Within a year, and Mr. Sawyer, it is through you, the likes of you, the many other donors, and who have added to this tremendous effort, which has so benefited this very important segment of our efforts to transform the country.
Well, Independence celebrations continue with focus on the youth. Upcoming events include the Battle of the Bands and Youth in Parliament. Co-chair of the Independence Secretariat, Charles Carter, and Youth Director Darren Turnquest are encouraging the public to support the youth.
It's just the wealth of talent of all these young people in this country. They may be called the bling bling society, but boy, let me tell you something, there's more to them than that. I mean, they have what all Bahamians have, that most Bahamians don't know they have, world-class culture and heritage. And that is why Bahamians excel everywhere we go in life.
All pomp and circumstance, all pomp and pageantry will be in full form and fashion. And so the country is invited to attend. At this particular point, we are even more excited because we know that every time the bands, as we say, the Bahamas lick up, there's something that just really happens in our bones. And so on Sunday, we are again inviting the nation to come out.
Well, coming up in sports, highlights from last night's basketball game. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight.
This portion of the news was brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
This is your Royal Fidelity Business News. I'm Jimenita Swain. Now that the government has renewed the Bahamas Petroleum Company's exploration licenses for the next 3 years, the company's chief executive officer says shares may be available for purchase soon. CEO Simon Porter says the company intends to be listed on the Bahamas International Securities Exchange later this year. Porter says he's been working to get BPC listed with BISX for more than a year and hopes renewals help to make that happen. Bradford Marine announcing today that it will be the exclusive representative for Danish Yacht Sales and Service for the Americas. The local marine company has shipyards in Fort Lauderdale, Florida and in Freeport, Grand Bahama. Danish Yachts works with top-level naval architects and designers to develop a range of carbon fiber vessels which revolutionize the super yacht industry in terms of performance and fuel costs. Bradford Marine President Paul Engel says its service technicians will work directly with Danish Yachts to keep every vessel in top condition for flawless enjoyment. And with all the buzz surrounding the birth of the royal baby this week, economists are suggesting that the new prince could boost Britain's austerity-hit economy by £520 million or $780 million in the short term, as well-wishers splurge on souvenirs, celebrate his arrival, and buy baby products. Reuters is reporting that's not the only good news, as the asset valuation agency Brand Finance said the monarchy is one of Britain's most valuable brands, is expected to contribute £1.9 billion to the British economy this year. That was your Royal Fidelity Business News. I'm Jimenita Swain.